approve.
Oh my god. Can I just put a twist on this game really fast?
What's up?
Yes.
Can we please make this like Snake Oil, and she'll pick her favorite quirk at the end?
Oh my god.
God.
Let's sell a quirk to her. That'd be fun.
That is fun.
The only thing is I got nothing. I can't think of anything.
And now it's like the snake oil?
and thus it's just like Snake Oil. I suck at that game.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
Hello everyone and beyond, and welcome to yet another episode of the Annie Chatbox. Today, I'm your host, and as per usual, you can find us on Twitter, for twitter.com/theanniechatbox. You can email us, anniechatmail@gmail.com. And of course, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and SoundCloud, and YouTube. And as always, if you find it within your heart of hearts to donate any money towards us to help us expand and grow, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. But enough about that. I am not the only one here today. We are joined with who'd start with? My fellow gentleman in the box, Craig.
What up, Internet? How you doing this fine afternoon?
Along with the ever lovely Cammy.
Hello there. Ugh, I feel like Craig has finally made his staple greeting, and I don't have it yet. And so every time Craig says, "What up, Internet?" I'm like, "What are you gonna say?" And all I say is "Hi." But yes, hi everybody. My name's Cammy. Glad you're here.
And lastly, but far from least, we have the lovely Cassie.
I think that because he started out with him not being the only person here, out of spite, we should all just get up and leave and make him do the rest of the episode by himself.
See, I would do that, but
Anarchy!
I mean, it would create a lot of background noise.
Panty and stocking, OST. Let's go.
Good show.
It felt weird to actually do it in the order that the script says to do it in, because I always do introductions and then go into the social link spiel, but apparently you're supposed to do social links first.
You can do whatever the hell you want, man. You're the host. You have almighty power. As long as both get done, that's all that matters.
Anarchy. Anarchy.
And I'm honestly too sick today to care.
Anyway, for today's topic of discussion, let's see how to start it. As we've seen from watching My Hero Academia, pretty much anything can become a quirk in this setting. So, if you had a Hiroaka-like quirk, what do you think it would be? Also, is there a kind of quirk or character you'd like to see appear within the franchise?
However, before we get into that, I actually kind of liked Cammy's twist on it before we started recording, so we can or cannot do this. But she suggested, going around and saying what we think other people's quirks would be.
Oh,
yeah, that was
So
actually a really neat thought to it. So, yeah, because we not necessarily be able to think of a quirk for ourselves, but we could probably go, hey, there's a thing we've noticed about you.
Yeah, and then if we have ideas for ourselves as well, we can throw those out there afterwards. But a round might be fun.
Yeah, I think that it would be cool to incorporate both of your guys' ideas together. Is hopefully where I was going. I don't know where I'm going.
Cassie's
Somebody
the
take the
beautiful
steering
peacemaker. Bless her heart.
Take the steering wheel. Jesus, take the wheel.
Cassie sounds like you're dying. Anarchy!
drinking game out of the amount of times Cammy has said the word anarchy.
I just like, I'm gonna drop it at like non-contextual moments just because it's funny to think of how it could be contextual. Anyway.
Yeah, just in the middle of like someone talking, just yell, anarchy!
Exactly.
Well, because she's being such an anarchist, maybe we should make her go first.
Oh gosh, put me up on the chopping block. Well, I am sitting here. I am a young baby child in the Hero Akaverse who has not been granted any quirk yet. Actually, I want to be one of those people that's a late bloomer because I tend to be. So let's say I'm like 16-year-old Cammy, and what quirk of mine will emerge? Tell me, my fellow hosts.
You know what? I actually think that your quirk would be a support quirk.
I could deal with that.
And I think the way that it would be supporting is that you would have a singing ability or a singing quirk.
I get it.
That calms those you sing to.
Aww.
However, you can use this for your own protection as well. Much like Midnight, you could also put people to sleep with it.
Oh my god, yes. Can I use that at work on the daily with like screaming 4 and 5-year-olds? And I'll just be like, guys.
So you could either become a pro hero or you could literally open a very lucrative daycare that nobody knows when the kids get there. You just put them all to sleep. And then the parents pick them up and they're just like, dude, they're so well behaved.
Dude, I could even jump that. I could have a side one where it's for animals too. Like over anxious animals, and I'll sing to them.
Yeah, so you'll be able to sing, and I'd like to think that it's a very specific song that you sing.
Aw. Nice.
That's like, and you can choose the level. I guess maybe like the level of how you harmonize with yourself. I guess will determine like the effectiveness of your quirk.
I can't help but imagine that parents dropping kids off with Cammy, and she just instantly turn around. Okay, kids, nap time. But we're not tired. Nap time.
However, every quirk has a drawback, so I think that the drawback for her quirk would be that if she uses it too often, she'll make herself dizzy.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I also now feel like I would be the hero equivalent of Jigglypuff, and that makes me really happy.
I also think that could lead to some very cute moe Cammy moments. I'd be very happy with that.
Oh my god. I'm so down for this now. Okay.
Anybody else have a hero quirk for Cammy?
So I got one in mind here. This dates back to the episode where you gave your hot takes on Welcome to the Ballroom. So what your quirk is going to be dance. What you do with dance is much like your singing ability, you're able to make those docile. So it's kind of like Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. You're able to calm people down. And while captivating them into your style, your poise of dance, you're able to like cut a jig on the dance floor, and they're like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And then they don't realize that they're trapped in like this illusion that you create of your dance, and time for them passes like that, and then
oh my god, that's cool.
Bam, you're able to
wait. Can she make them do the box step continuously?
if she asks them to join her in said dance, yes, they could awaken their potential of a dancer as well.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Then I'd have my own like Welcome to the Ballroom Academia. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I approve.
Oh my god. Can I just put a twist on this game really fast?
What's up?
Yes.
Can we please make this like Snake Oil, and she'll pick her favorite quirk at the end?
Oh my god.
Let's sell a quirk to her. That'd be fun.
That is fun.
I like that. I got nothing. I can't think of anything.
And now it's like the Snake Oil?
and thus it's just like Snake Oil. I suck at that game.
Shout out, if you haven't checked it out, we were on an episode of the other podcast that Craig co-hosts called Save Our Progress, and we played a great little game on Steam called Snake Oil. We'll link it in the description if you want to go check it out.
Word. If you want to hear John sound and feel more uncomfortable than he already is, that is the best way to do so.
I love that episode.
Well, that being said, I really, really love both of those ideas, but I think because I have more confidence in my singing ability than as a dancer, I'll probably go with Cassie's, also because it's easier to transfer onto dogs and cats and animals, which I think...
Yeah,
this
is very
Cassie.
true. This is very true.
But thank you. 1 point for Cassie, but thank you everyone for your submissions. I want to, just to give John some more reprieve time, I think that we should go to him and we should figure out
before we
his
do,
work.
you didn't come up with one for yourself.
Oh my, okay. So mine was basically to, it's hard because we're not in a fictional world. I wanted mine to just be able to take two guys and make them fall in love with each other, but I mean, the desire for that...
How are you going to do this?
But the desire for that is a bit lessened because I can't, if they're fictional characters, I can't really make them come to life. So, that one kind of fell apart a little bit.
What if we tweak it a little bit? What if you can, I've seen this actually in another manga, so it's kind of cheating, but maybe you could play matchmaker because you can see the connections between people. Like you have an ability with your eyes to see like how somebody feels like about another person.
Oh, I think I remember you talking about this
so
manga.
Cute. I would dig that a lot actually because I do just ship a lot of things naturally. So that would be fun.
You could just be like, you have feelings for her, she has feelings for you, just now kiss.
No kiss.
Anarchy! Okay.
Oh, here we go again.
Anarchy!
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay.
There's a manga, I forget what it's called, something Zero.
Ooh.
I'll look it up later, but basically one of the characters that
Iris
has the
Zero.
ability to see... Iris Zero, there we go.
You feel like it.
Everybody has a different ability with their eyes to see something, and one of the guys can see relationship markers, I guess, like who has a crush on who by little arrows over their head.
That sounds really cool.
It's been on hiatus for quite a while.
It's a really cool manga. I definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Okay, so I think that Cammy was trying to throw John under the bus.
Yep.
I already got John's ability put down.
Okay.
John's is the ability to think the Lego movie with the Master Builders. John's ability is to take anything, like any random object, and construct it into something useful and or practical for his use. And this stemmed from him just building so many model kits to a point where he got really, really fast with it to lightning speeds. So his skill set expanded to anything. So you could take like a pillow and a blanket, and you fashion it into like wizard speed into something completely different. But he'd be able to use it in some other fashion.
Holy crap! Where were you when I needed a corkscrew last night?
You're right. He could have made you a corkscrew or an improv corkscrew.
Well, that is really cool.
I have a bunch of these ingredients that have nothing to do with each other, and somehow, even though they've got nothing to do with a corkscrew, here, baha, corkscrew.
Yep. You're able to bust into that wine.
Yeah, I was gonna go for something kind of similar, just with robots with John. I guess my idea was that I wanted John to be able to give robots like temporary sentience so he could like use them to defend against villains. But here's the little part that makes it a unique quirk is it's only on like mini robots, so like small figures and
on
things
toy-sized
like that,
robots.
and like toy-sized ones. So no, you couldn't make like the old giant Gundam in Japan come to life, but you could with like miniature ones, like small ones. So you'd have this army of tiny robots at your aid. And then there'd probably be a time cap on that too. I'm not sure what that would be. For fun, let's just say about 6 minutes.
Yeah, the more he controls her, the longer it goes, it probably strains him.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel like I need to think more because I had another idea with tiny robots.
It just screams John. Like, what can we say?
It really does. I actually really like both of your guys' ideas. I might actually be the one out this round.
I never thought of anything along those lines for myself, in all honesty, and I was like, you know what, yeah, it does sound... Thing is, they also sound like super useful quirks, which is why I'm like, I never see myself as having a useful quirk, just something dumb and stupid.
Okay, I have a quirk, and it's a total joke quirk. But, okay, so, John has the ability to adapt any accent in the world and use it to seduce as many women as he would like, and it only works on the opposite sex.
Come, fly with me, Virginia.
But the drawback is, to be able to activate this power, he has to have an awkward interaction with a male first.
Oh no!
Wait, describe this awkward interaction.
It could be anything. It probably will be just like that, I don't know, like some guy, like, comes up to him and is like, hey, you want a hug? And he's like, okay, fine. And then that's super awkward. But after that, he harnesses the awkwardness and realizes his own ability to seduce any woman he looks at with the power of his voice.
Damn, that's intense.
That's a cool one. I like it.
Dude, I got fucking nothing.
We need cards. We need the playing cards.
Did you have a drawback for his super ability to make anything, Craig?
Yeah, I don't think I gave a drawback to Cammy's either, to be honest. Let's wind back a little bit. Drawback to Cammy's is if she dances too much, she gets exhausted. Yes. Drawback to John's, another physical limitation. The faster he's able to build something, he can wind up breaking things and or creating fire by just putting the things he touches on fire. The faster he works.
Or maybe if he works too much, he, like, breaks his fingers or something.
Yeah, that could also work.
Considering the fact that if I'm not careful when putting my Gundam kits together, I do often cut my fingers open with my hobby knives, because I get too complacent. Yeah, with cleaning parts up, that I'm just like, yeah, just clean this part up, like, ow. Yeah, the number of times I hurt myself building kits, yeah, I can see that being a thing. I did actually think up a quirk for myself ages ago when I came up with this topic idea, way back when.
Okay.
But it's a completely different train of thought, and it's along with the fact that when I beta test other people's A&V edits, I'm somehow able to see, like, junk frames, or, like, things are just off, and it could be there for just a single frame, and somehow I will see it, even if it's not really too different from everything else. So, like, I kind of took that as, I'm able to see things in, like, super slow motion, though I'm not necessarily able to speed up to match how I'm seeing things. So it's just my perception of time slows down somewhat. But yeah, I actually think I prefer well, I'd love to be able to seduce women with my voice. I think I like the controlling
the
little
robots.
Gundam kits.
Mini robot army. Nice.
I like the idea of having a little mini robot army of plastic figurines.
You know, I'm gonna make a tally on my iPad. So
Sweet.
1 point for Cassie, 1 point for Key.
I will come back in the third round.
Craig will be avenged.
I will!
We'll all probably just get, like, 1 point, and it'll be a 4-way tie. Most likely.
Probably.
But this is still fun for me to ruin this.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic. I like it.
So, we want to do Craig next?
Sure, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
What would we do for Craig?
Have fun. I already know my practical ability.
Obviously, he'll become the spirit of fire.
I can leave.
I feel like Craig's ability would definitely have to be like just like vocal manipulation of some point, and being able to not obviously do impressions, but like once he's heard somebody's voice, he could just like switch to it for whatever way, which you think would be very much a quirk that could be bad, because like if he was able to adopt like, you know, a like a political leader's voice, he could get them into so much shit. But he has to hear their voice in person first off, so that makes it a little bit of a drawback.
Okay.
Can't be a recording or over the phone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so nothing like TV.
Really...
So you'd have to be skulky and sneak around, but at the same point, like, even if you need to skulk, you could get something like, you know, if you're hanging out in this building and you're trying to sneak around and you get the security guard's voice, you could still get over on the radio and be like, hey, clearance, everybody go home, or like do this, you know. So you could do some like really sweet espionage with that. And
I see. I'm a spy in this fictionalized world, or I could be a total villain.
Yeah,
I mean, fuck with your friends.
That's kind of the thing with like quirks in general, though. Too, it's more so how you use them a lot of times.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
not so much with, you've got a quirk that's perfect for a villain. Yeah, but I want to be a hero.
Like, you could steal your brother's voice and call your mom and call her a stupid poopy head, and then...
Exactly. Craig, there's, like, moral conflict in your quirk.
Nice.
Yep, that's
like
mine.
I had a thought and I lost it. Hang on. I have to...
See, I think that for me, Craig's quirk would be that he can, as long as he is in love with whatever he's watching on a television, he can morph into that television and use it to teleport from place to place. But they would have to be showing the same TV show. So let's say he's watching My Hero Academia.
Okay.
He can, at that point, teleport through his television or screen.
Okay.
From... I've been watching playing Persona 4. Sorry, this is the first thing that came to
my head. Okay, there's the...
well, there's that. I know you love watching TV.
Yeah.
So he would be able to go to whatever screen is also showing My Hero Academia. It doesn't even have to be the same episode. So let's say he's like, I want to go visit Cammy in Maryland.
Yeah.
Hey Cammy, go turn on your TV. Let's watch
God.
My Hero Academia. Surprise! I'm in your living room.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Snap.
So it's like teleportation, but through TVs.
Televisual portation. I like it.
But and of course you can use this. Let's say you can't really necessarily know what everybody's watching, but like Cammy said, it could be good for espionage. So if you're trying to break into a building, you could have a hacker friend, maybe who has a hacker quirk or something, turn on a program that you're watching, and then you could get into that building. Or likewise use it just for travel.
What's the limitation of this?
The limitations of they have to be watching the same program that you are.
Gotcha.
So if you wanted to go into that building, you would have to find a television. So like say, I'm turning on Friends. You would have to find a way to turn on Friends in the like building or something. But it can be any screen. It could be a computer screen, a TV screen, iPad screen, whatever.
That's a cool one too. God, Craig's are like really intense for espionage. I don't know why we all decided he'll be the best spy ever, but
I think it's because we're unconsciously going, okay, so Cammy got the support quirk, and John got the aggressive quirk. We need somebody who can work behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm the thief or the rogue of the group, apparently. This is like some D&D shit.
Well, I haven't been able to think of any quirk along those lines. The one that's come to mind for me is completely different and completely useless in that kind of regard.
Did you think of something for Craig?
I'd have thought of something for Craig. The one I thought of for Craig is that he has the ability, by anyone he is able to physically touch the skin of, he can unlock their inner, most latent ability to become the greatest idol ever.
They have potential of becoming an idol?
So you're telling me, so if he touched my skin, he'd be like, Cassie, the only thing that you are missing is your ability to make cute costumes. The moment you do that, you will become the greatest idol of all time.
Yes.
I like it.
Works for me.
I'm the producer and the idol master.
So basically his quirk is finding untapped potential.
Yeah.
One for all.
Oh.
I like these ideas.
Actually, I much prefer the untapped potential. I love the idol twist to it that I had. So
maybe it doesn't have to be idols. Maybe you can just like walk up to somebody and touch them. And maybe it's not even just a quirk, but you're just like, hey, did you ever think about like you actually have a really good talent for writing? So he could even like use that quirk to become like a fortune teller.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah.
I like it. So, what I always envisioned, and this is interesting because it's like, whenever I get asked what kind of superpowers I would always want, or quirk, it always made me think of comic books and whatnot, and the one physical limitation of mine, which I always wanted to bypass, was getting from point A to point B. Obviously, the most convenient way for a person in our time is driving or public transportation. What Craig wants to do is circumvent that, and he can use this for espionage or what have you, is to either have the ability of super speed or teleportation, a la The Flash or Nightcrawler from the X-Men and DC. As a quirk, I kind of am leaning towards teleportation. The physical limitation of this, obviously, the farther I go, the more it's going to fuck my body up. I will actually probably wind up in dire straits if I try to go from point A to point B over large city distances. I might wind up in a coma or something like that. And you have to, like, much like Nightcrawler, I'd have to actually envision the area where I'm going in order to get there. Otherwise or I might go through a wall and get stuck. So, that's what I want. Now, when it comes to who wins this round, let's think. I want to say the teleportation via the electronic devices, via the same program being streamed, such as My Hero Academia or Friends.
Heck yes, 2 points for Cassie.
You get 2 points.
I actually kind of want you to untap my potential, though. Craig, tell me what I need to do with the rest of my life. Okay, I guess it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Sell to me. Sell to me, people. I'm scared, actually. Let's not talk about.
Cass, for you, I'm here to present to you this fine afternoon.
Wow, you went straight snake oil there.
I did. Your quirk, which is the ability to draw. Not just, like, be the greatest artiste on the planet, but, like, you have a love and passion for art. So, your inner artiste has been unlocked, and now you're able to frickin' be like Leonardo da Vinci in terms of your artistic skill. However, the more you create, again, physical limitations being you would probably, like, break your hand or something, or, like, your fingers would, like, get blisters and probably get cut out of this. But in the process, you would be able to create not only the greatest works of art on the planet, but you would also be able to realize your dreams of drawing the greatest fan art for your friends and make some good cash money on the side with commission.
Oh, that's cute. I like the thing about making the best fan art for your friends. That's beautiful.
I wish I had such talent.
Now, with your new quirk.
Drawing. I like how Craig is technically the only one so far who's trying to bribe the person by not taking something they actually can do already and being like, "Hey Cassie, if you have this quirk, you can draw."
Untapped potential.
Yours.
Nice. Was there a drawback to that one, Craig?
Yeah, the physical limitations of her her fingers would probably like get busted if like she did nothing but work and have no rest in between to like let her muscles like relax. would obviously lock her arm up, and probably she'd wind up going to the hospital for it. Her hands! Carpal tunnel is a bitch, ladies and gentlemen. You have to take care of your hands. The phalanges are delicate.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have one, and let's see how well I can explain it. But one thing that I really admire about Cassie is when she gets really invested into like fictional series like anime or in video games or certain things, she expresses herself creatively to get as close to, you know, that franchise or that medium as she can, because she appreciates it a lot, and she will just like go to the nth degree, and I really admire that. And I think that she would have kind of a space warping power. So think like Iskandar's ability in Fate Zero, where he takes the opponent to like the like desert with all of his armies and stuff like that. So he just kind of warps the universe, and he's like, hey, you're here. I feel like Cassie would be able to do that with a villain, but she could go into any fictional world that she wants. And so that can span anywhere within like anime or manga or video games. But then also she can ascribe abilities of a certain character of her choice within that franchise. The drawback to this, which I think is honestly really cute, is if she stays in there too long. Let's think of a time limit again. We're going to be a bit more generous with her. She will have 11 minutes. If she stays in there too long, then when she gets back, she is going to be in the real world, but still under the impression that she is in the anime world and is that person. So she's kind of just like walking cosplay until the illusion effect wears off in the real world, which I think would be amazing.
I like this. I like this idea.
So it would be really cool too, because I mean, there's diversity in how you can target a person's weakness, because say you are targeting someone that is trying to be a skulky murderer. Okay, let's take them into the Danganronpaverse and let's give you, the observation skills that like Oma has, or like if we need to go into, you want to get revenge on a guy who's been, you know, mistreating women, take him to school days, you know, get your nice boat on, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's an amazing quirk. It's just the drawback can be severe because it alters with your perception of reality.
Yeah, it sounds
you see, I
like
could just take everybody into the first episode of All You Need Is a Little Sister, and they'd probably just kill themselves. So.
I mean, my favorite is you taking people into the Hunter verse and getting Killua's like electric powers. That's probably my favorite.
Yes.
So
it's great. I could just be a Chuny. It'd be great.
The ultimate Chuny, Cassie. That's you.
Yeah, man.
Chunyism is her quirk name.
Yes.
Again, I had one and now I lost it. What was it? My thought was, how to describe it? Sort of bringing a character to life, but still on a 2D plane, so that they're like running along like a wall or a picture or something.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you're able to bring a 2D character to life, but they're still trapped within the confines of a 2D space, so they're a piece of paper?
Effectively.
I mean, I can see that being
like slap a sticker on the wall, and then it runs off of the sticker along the wall to around the place.
Interesting.
That could be used for like again, like espionage, like watching people, because you could have like little familiars that you have walking around for you.
That's what I was thinking. That's awesome.
As long as I can communicate with the drawings or whatever.
I like it. What's the drawback?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. What would the drawback of that be?
Like a limit of how many things she can summon?
Or would Cassie get stuck to the wall if like they're out for too long?
They would get unruly and they would trap her into the wall.
She has to maintain contact with the surface she officially applied them to.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Otherwise, they just turn back into whatever they were before. and won't necessarily maintain any of their memories from what they gathered. So you can't just use that to teleport them back to you. Otherwise you lose all the information.
Actually, I like all of these. I think I like Cammy's and John's a lot, but I think Cammy's I like the most just because it would be so hilarious. And it seems like the most anime of the choices.
The most anime.
I just love the idea of dragging them into Danganronpa and then just
Yeah.
sitting in Monokuma's room watching them like, I
Can I just be Monokuma and execute everyone?
I just love the idea of you staying in there too long and like coming out saying nothing but like oop 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 oop, just stuff like that. It'd be amazing.
Drawback, I get thrown in an insane asylum because people think I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's okay. As long as Craig's your roommate, he knows. He knows the drill.
Don't worry, guys. She's a hero.
Yeah, all I see is her just wandering around in a Monokuma like costume, just yelling "oop oop oop oop," and I'm like, I'm locking my door and never opening it for the next like 3 days.
It's okay. You'd
So
be
you
such a
see-
successful hero. You wouldn't need any other day job, so you'd be able to do that and then just like stay in your house should repercussions happen.
Wait a sec, I just now thought of this. That essentially kind of sounds like a little bit of Captain Underpants, where, like, they trick him into thinking he's a superhero, and they have to deal with it the entire time. Cass would be running around as a superhero. A Chuny. When
I
in
still
fact,
need to see that movie.
she doesn't have any superpowers.
The Chunies are the best characters in all the shows.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
saying.
Sure.
By the way, reason for you to watch Love Live Sunshine, there's a Chuny in there.
Okay.
Right.
Tempted.
Right.
Tempted. Noted.
There is a Chuny in there.
I
Craig just doesn't understand the appeal of Chunies, and that's fine.
don't like Yohane. I don't like Yoshiko. Whatever the fuck her name is.
Anyway,
I believe there's
So-
also a Chuny in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
but anyway, you see, everybody has all these bright, lovely things, and I just thought of the most, like, tragic quirk for myself.
What's
So,
the hell?
I think that one of the things that I'm decent at is helping people with their problems, or at least I try to.
Okay.
So, I
I
would
think I know where you're going with this.
So I'd probably have a quirk that would be good for therapy purposes, which would be helping people with tragic memories, either with, so basically holding hands with them or some sort of touching. I would be able to see what is causing them trauma and help them work through it. And if it's truly something that they can't get over, I can take that memory from them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drawback would be, though, is then that would be a memory I would have to deal with and would probably cause extreme insomnia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be the case. It's like, I will take this traumatic experience from you and keep it for myself.
Yeah.
But would be really good in, like, war situations or something like that. So, like, somebody who's more physically capable can get back out on the battlefield or fighting as a superhero or whatever, and I can just sit there and cry for 5 hours.
I like that one. I mean, I don't like you having these burdens, but I like where it comes from.
I think it would make a good character arc in, like, a My Hero
Yes.
Academia series.
It would, yeah.
That was fun, guys.
I like
I
that.
It was fun.
Thank you to John and Cammy for taking your both your quirky ideas and forming one great quirk of a conversation. That was very fun. And ironically, like right when we need to switch over, because we've been talking for about 40 minutes. Bam!
Yeah.
Perfection. By the way, me and Cammy came out tied with 2 points.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
I got none.
You got 1.
Did I?
I believe so.
Did you?
I think. Oh wait, no. There's
only 4 of us. If 2
There's
of
only
you
4
got
of
2,
us.
so.
Never mind. I think I just gave you. I think I gave you an honorary point because I really liked your idea for John. But
I liked everyone's ideas for me, actually.
We're all winners here.
We're all heroes,
here.
here. Oh my god!
Oh.
Holy Mother of God, Batman.
Oh no! Don't die!
Oh, dear.
Where's Recovery Gal when we need her?
Anyway,
Where is Recovery Gal in the series that we're doing a review
that's what I was
on
about to
today?
Oh, is that a motherfucking
Yeah.
segue?
So, yeah, in case you didn't already gather, we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 2, or Boku no Hero Academia. So, it's animated by Studio Bones, who have also done Fullmetal Alchemist, Noragami, and Solia, along with many, many others. And the synopsis goes... At UA Academy, not even a violent attack can disrupt their most prestigious event, the School Sports Festival. Renowned across Japan, this festival is an opportunity for aspiring heroes to showcase their abilities, both to the public and potential recruiters. However, the path to glory is never easy, especially for Izuku Midoriya, whose quirk possesses great raw power, but is also cripplingly inefficient. Pitted against his talented classmates such as the fire and ice-wielding Shoto Todoroki, Izuku must utilize his sharp wits and master his surroundings to achieve victory and prove to the world his worth. Hero Academia Season 2 starts off with a tournament arc!
Tournament arc!
Credits to Gigguk for making tournament arcs a thing to meme. Bless.
Indeed.
I'm still really depressed I never bought that shirt.
Wait, did it go... Is it gone?
Really?
I don't know, like it went down temporarily. I don't know if he'll bring it back, but you could only buy it for a certain amount of time.
Huh.
Did
I
I
don't know if
completely
he'll-
miss the shirt entirely?
I think
he
I
had
did too.
2 shirts. There was one shirt that just said tournament arc on it in like a bunch of different fonts. And then there was another one that said anime is trash and so am I.
I'm gonna look this up while you all start your initial thoughts.
I'm already way ahead of you, friend.
Okay. You're one step ahead of me. So, John, or rather, Cass, you passed the show, didn't you? So, why'd you pass it?
I did, and honestly, I was so happy that you wonderful people let me have this ray of sunshine in my life. Because almost everybody purposely put this lower on their list so I could have it, which is great because anime is not kind to Cassie, ever.
Is it supposed to be?
I picked this one because I knew it was going to be good. I cheated. I loved the first season, and I knew I was going to love the second season unless they completely bombed. And let's be honest, that was not going to happen. I actually loved the second season so much that halfway through it, I cheated even further and read ahead in the manga and still went back and watched the show. So yeah, I passed it basically on my own enjoyment, but also based on the fact that I loved the first season. And also I loved every single character in this show. And that very rarely happens, not just in anime, but just in general, in an entertainment medium. Very rarely is there a show where there isn't one character I just detest. And this is just such a lovely, bright ray of sunshine on my day. It was fun to watch weekly, and it's fun to watch with friends. And that's why I passed it.
Yes.
It swam so elegantly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you could say that it could give the free boys a run for their money.
More than Dive did. I actually, because the way I ended up watching My Hero was that Get and I randomly decided to watch it, so we just binged season 1 and then went straight into season 2. Luckily, I can't even imagine how much a ray of sunshine the first 3 episodes of My Hero season 2 would have been in a slog of, the 3 episode impressions. It must have just, stood like mountains above everything else that season. And that's awesome.
I think pretty much all of us were keeping up to date with it as it was airing. At least once we'd all caught up with it. What was I going to say? One thing about season 2 of My Hero Academia compared to season 1, in season 1 of Hero Academia, we got introduced to the whole class of A1A rather, not A1.
A1 Pictures.
We got introduced to the full class of 1A at UA, but ultimately the only characters that really got any real highlighting was Deku, Bakugo, and to some extent Ochiko, Ida, and a tiny bit of Tsuyu at the end, but ultimately everything revolved around Deku.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, however, was going okay. You know how Deku works. You know how he ticks. Let's actually go one by one and look at the rest of the cast that we've introduced, and that was something that actually finally fleshed out the other characters and really got you to see how they tick. And admittedly, not all of them, but it's a start, and it's a good. The ones that they've touched on thus far, they really did a good job with. But
not that Deku isn't in the spotlight. He still has his struggles and has to work through things. But I don't think that saying we know what makes Deku tick really is correct. Like he's still got a lot to go through, and a lot more makes him tick this season than in the previous season. I'd actually argue that season 2 gives him more difficult hurdles to overcome. Actually,
that is true.
But it does, like you said, branch out more. The story becomes a little bit less about the world building and more about those inside the world.
That's a good way to put it. I do think they also do a good job at even if it's not hardcore world building, they do a good job of expanding that there's a lot more to be explored. And I felt that they did that in a way that like really got me intrigued. None of it felt like forced or just exposition. I mean, I think that storytelling and pacing is one of the greatest strengths of My Hero. And season 2, I think, just built upon everything that was fascinating and starting to emerge by the end of season 1. So good on them.
So my introduction to My Hero Academia as a whole, since shout out to Zach, who actually was the one that suggested the show to me. Once Naruto ended, he described it as like the successor to Naruto in a lot of facets, and the crux of the first half of this season was, again, the tournament arc. Zach described it as Naruto's tuning exams, where you get introduced to like all the players in the classroom, not even just class 1A, but class 1B as well, and you get to see, as John said, more focus on other characters, a lot of other side characters that you'd be like, I didn't know anything about this character, but I just saw that they're in the background and they look cool, but now you get to see their power set, what makes them tick to a degree, etc., etc.
So I guess in regards to that, discussing story, it's very difficult to pinpoint because the story is always evolving, which is fantastic. And it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy My Hero Academia, because between season 1 and between season 2, really the only main goal that we have for Deku is that he wants to at some point become a great hero.
Yep.
And everything else about the story just kind of comes to him as it comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that's great about a show like this. And I could say about a lot of shonen. I think that's one of the things that appeals to people of shonen, or people who enjoy shonen, is that it's almost always a evolving story, especially considering their length. However, I think that this story is done a little bit more effectively than most shonen in that regard, though.
Absolutely. I think that one of the strongest points of My Hero, for me, I'm not always like a fan of shonen, but like every single arc and like storyline, when I know it's going to be an arc, I'm never thinking, oh, we're just, pushing through this arc. It seems like a continuous story that always has like development and things, and it moves at a pace that keeps me interested instead of ever getting stagnant, which I really, really appreciate. Like, I think this show is an example for me, again, who hasn't seen a ton of shonen. I think it's shonen at like one of its finest points.
Yeah. Another thing to point out is that we've only really talked about the tournament arc specifically, but there's effectively 3 arcs to season 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's the tournament arc, which in itself can be cut in half to the qualifiers and the finals, and then you've got the what was it? The internship arc, and then you've got the exam arc.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, especially because as compared to season 1, I feel like this one had more solid arcs to it.
Yeah, it felt and this is just maybe my interpretation, but I felt as though a lot more stuff happened. The pacing in season 2 was a little bit faster in comparison to season 1, on top of it having like double the episodes, but I felt as though it was faster and it had more stuff to do. Also, in my case, whereas, like, it's interesting, there's been several thesis and analysis videos when it comes to shonen, but, like, people have said My Hero is actually trying to break the mold out, kind of like Hunter x Hunter, whereas they introduce characters, but they aren't always trying to one-up a villain in certain regards. They have realistic limitations to their power sets. Izuku having raw power, but can essentially, like, recoil every single attack, and they try to learn realistically in their own way, how do I essentially overcome these limitations, and how do I evolve naturally, rather than, oh, I'm going to get God mode and blow up a planet. My Hero's not going to blow up a planet by the end of its by the end of its run, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I don't think
that
so.
That is a issue that's come up in shonen time and time again, especially since Dragon Ball Z, which is the power creep and the absurd levels of power that characters by the end of it have in the series compared to the start. And My Hero Academia is kind of outright saying, no, you don't have to worry about that in this. Yeah, the characters are going to get stronger. Yeah, the villains are going to get scarier, but ultimately there is a ceiling to everything, and nothing's going to exceed that ceiling. And even when they hit that ceiling, they're not going to be all powerful. They are going to have their own limitations holding them back anyway, that others could overcome.
And I find that really refreshing. I mean, even All Might has his own limitations, which, I mean, that's his own story, but still.
Being said, I think that the story we've basically beaten to the ground at this point is definitely one that stands out. However, this, much like a lot of other shonen, relies on the characters to carry it along because the storyline is, for lack of a better word, relatively simple.
Yeah.
With a very simple goal. So I guess with this point we can switch over to like the characters and how we feel about each of them and how they play into this role in this world where we are already immersed. I freaking love the characters in this show.
I agree with you when you said that you love all of them to a degree. Like, the cast work in this show is phenomenal and incredibly strong, and I think that is one of the show's like greatest strengths as a whole. Something that I observed, at least personally, and then Get kind of helped me analyze, but like the tournament arc for me personally was probably the my favorite of the 3 arcs. And part of that is because I think that for me, the show shines its best when we get like all of the students, like the camaraderie of everybody that's shown and like the way that they interact with each other. In the internship arc where they're kind of all doing their own thing, I was a little bit less enthused because I wanted to see more like character interactions between the main cast.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, in general, that's because all of the characters are amazing and like I love all of them.
They have good chemistry.
And also the tournament arc, as we already mentioned, it did take not only 1A but also 1B and the general studies course students and also students from other branches of the school. We did still only see the first years, where it's implied that they all of the are there 3 years? Yeah, there's 3 years of students at UA, so we didn't actually see any of the second or third year students yet. But yeah, so like it well over doubled the cast of characters. And sadly we couldn't see all of them. A large number of them got eliminated in the first round, but that was the whole point of the first round of eliminations.
And with that, I will say, while there is a lot of quirky characters out there, some make better impressions than others, and some are more memorable in my mind. Like, with such a diverse cast, there's a lot of names flying at you, and maybe it's my, like, memory going or what, but I half the time could not remember some of the characters in Class 1A, let alone Class 1B. And some characters outright, I still to this day don't really get their whole gimmick, aka the Mineta, I believe his name was, the guy that was only in it to get women. And I'm like, I don't like you, dude. I really don't care about your character, but you do you. However, characters such...
tolerate him, though. Like, I don't hate his guts.
I don't hate his guts. He's just there.
Yeah.
And I think that he's there to serve as
comic relief.
Comic relief, and even he gets some development.
Yeah, I did like that bit.
By the end of the show.
Oh, go on.
Actually, can I ask a question?
What's up?
Because this is another thing that I absolutely love about My Hero Academia, and I know that other series do this, but I think that My Hero Academia is just one in recent memory that I know that does it very well, and that's that I also love the villains. And
yes.
They all have characters, and I really like that they are also going through their own development, and I also love the not everything is purely evil that you think is purely evil. And even by the end of, I believe, Season 2, we really see some struggling between the main antagonist with himself and his ideals. Yeah. Even though he's not one to really think, you would think. How many times can Cassie say, think? Anarchy!
Anarchy!
But yeah, I think that's also a wonderful thing that I feel that needs to be mentioned in the characters section, is that the villains in the show can be just as likable.
Hey guys.
And intriguing.
Guys, question for you. Who's your favorite character and who's your least favorite character of this season?
Oh, right. Your tradition again.
Yep.
I hate my life.
I will start.
So hard.
I will start this by saying,
this is so much easier in other shows.
Yeah,
I will say this by saying best character for multitude of reasons, and that is Todoroki. You get to understand way more about him rather than him sitting in the background looking like a cool badass. You actually get to understand what makes him tick, especially during the tournament arc. And I feel for the kid.
I think that's actually a good way to highlight it for this season. Maybe even if it's not favorite, but like which characters shine the most for you season 2? Maybe that's another way we could take it if it is difficult.
Okay. And the one that had no shining or no development whatsoever. Yeah. Well, actually, Mineta actually did still have development, but I don't know. I'll go with Mineta.
Okay, yeah, totally fair.
Nobody else wants to volunteer as tribute.
No, it's so hard.
It really is.
You go with Ochako.
So listen, I loved Uraraka a lot, so I think that for me it's like a tie between probably her and Todoroki. And you've already talked about Todoroki, so I'll talk about her instead. Uraraka, I feel like, is somebody who almost I was scared was going to be either one, the generic love interest,
Yeah.
or B, was going to be the one who was initially there to support Deku, but then never got any limelight herself. And that was one of the things I was most scared of, because Ochako is bae. And I love her a lot. And I have a beautiful keychain that Cammy gave me, and I carry her around, and she reminds me every day that it's okay to do your best, and I love her. But even with that all said, I was actually really impressed. There is a match that she has against a very formidable opponent during the exam, or during the cultural festival, or whatever it's called, the sports festival. And we really get to see how she really truly wants to be stronger, and how it feels to be somebody who does not necessarily have the utmost confidence in themselves. And I also love how the rest of the season is spent with her actually trying things outside of her box, and really making her want to strive to be a strong woman, both in and outside of what she wants to do. And that's just so inspiring to me. And I love her.
Yes.
Oh, God, as for the least, come back to me. Because I could say Mineta, but I just you already said him, and then I could, but I mean, even with the villains, I liked all of them so much. So it's
You could say the Nomus. They had the least.
The Nomus.
You're right, but I mean, I'm not even sure the Nomus qualify as characters. They're basically just like teacups. They have no freaking thought process of their own. That's like me saying, "Wow, guys, my least favorite character in show is Lamp." Lamp had no character development.
Right. I mean, he wasn't even a classy lamp.
Clearly, it was the microwave that got broken. It didn't even do its job.
You're right. Gran Torino's microwave, shout out. They got a new one through Amazon.
I can't pick a least favorite character. I can't do it.
That's fine.
I have a least favorite character, but trying to, Ochiko's been mentioned, Todoroki's been mentioned,
Okay.
Do you want me to go, John?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I have to sort of take it as a stance of a character that I think shined because, again, there's the problem of loving so many people in this cast, but then also that I would just tie with Craig and Cassie. Todoroki is phenomenal, Uraraka is amazing, and probably elicited the greatest emotional reaction out of me during the season. But I also want a character that I want to highlight from season 2, definitely for me, is Bakugo, because initially from season 1, by the end, I just didn't care about him. I wrote him off as the one-off rival character, and even when we got glimpses of his motivation, I didn't understand it or see a value in his character. And I think that season 2 does a phenomenal job in lots of different arcs of just showing where he's coming from and the assets that he has that make him a great qualifier to be a hero. Initially in season 1, I thought it was just because he's strong, but they expand on his mindset in season 2, how he works. They also gave him just really funny moments of how angry he was. They showed how he views those around him besides Deku. And I don't know, I just probably for the greatest development for me, I got a lot more out of his character than I did in season 1, and I really appreciate that, and I'm excited to see what else happens with him in the rest of the story.
for sure.
Yeah. Least favorite, like, again, it's not really a least favorite thing. I think for characters that, like, didn't interest me, I never really, like, got into Gran Torino personally, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Also, his design was a bit cartoony for my taste, but, like, he's still a cool person. So again, like, I can't really say a least favorite in the show because the show does a great job with its cast.
He was always weird in the fact that he would go senile at the weirdest times and then get serious and just like...
I mean, sometimes I found that funny, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, John, do you think you're ready?
Yeah, I know who I'm talking about in this little bit. When it came to her little bit, not even little, she actually had quite a big personal arc herself. Mama Yaruozu.
Hey!
Oh, cluster up or whatever.
Because like Todoroki, she actually got through. She got accepted into UA without needing to take the entrance exam. And so she actually compares herself to Todoroki especially, and stuff happens that makes her really lose her confidence, and just seeing her interact with everyone else and a number of events that happen are focusing on her, we really see her actually get her confidence back and actually shine in that. No, she does deserve to be here, and she does have a really interesting quirk, and is really skilled in using her quirk, and she's also just a fun, bubbly character, and there's just a scene where she gets really excited about everyone paying her a visit, that she's just fun and bubbly and bouncy, and I can't help but just smile.
She's also a really good strategist too, like a very good shot caller.
Yeah, I think she deserves a shout out. Like, that's even just the cool thing again, is that there are a lot of just like side characters that it's like, holy crap, they get their own little arc, and that's awesome.
Character that I least liked was Neto Monoma. I'm on a wiki page here to actually check on his name. He's the guy that was a little shit that kept on just actively trying to antagonize
oh my god,
group A1.
Was he the blonde guy?
The blonde guy, and he always had this like shit-eating grin and kept on having to get like hand chopped by the redhead girl.
Yes.
Also in the class, who kept on apologizing for him being a little shit all the time.
So Craig, just I need to mention this to you to see if maybe you could see it. But yeah, every time that guy like opened his mouth and just started to be smug, Get and I were like, okay, My Hero Academia's universe version of Kisei from Kuroko no Basket.
Oh god. Oh god. What's his
Except
name?
without me.
Neto Monoma.
Neto Monoma. Monoma. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I do recall him. Yep. No, wasn't a big fan. Yeah, he was a cocky. He was a cocky little shit.
Yeah, and he was never in a position to really be cocky himself, but anytime anything went wrong for 1A, he'd be there, just like, I thought you guys were supposed to be the shit, and and
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like, okay, dude, shut up, fuck off.
Also, small bonus shoutouts for the best character name. Season 2 goes to Tetsu.
I love Tetsu.
I loved that.
Oh, now I remember his ability. Yeah, the blonde douchebag.
His one was, his ability was to steal quirks from others.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else we want to touch on with characters, or do we want to jump into production?
Production.
I think that the production in the show is fantastic, and it actually outdid its season 1 counterpart, especially in the first half and in the sports festival.
Oh, yes.
However, I do believe that after those magnificent scenes, it did take a small dive.
Yeah.
After, and the second half was not nearly as clean as the first, but it was still enjoyable and lovely and pretty to look at and enjoy it.
I'd agree. Absolutely.
Animation-wise.
It did straight off, even with episode 1, like, in very subtle ways, show, look, we've got even more people. Budget. Yeah, we've got more budget and more time to throw. Well, more people hours to throw at this, so we're gonna be even more awesome, even with subtle details. Like, if you look at season 1. Not saying it was stiff or static. Season 1 was still really quite high quality in and of itself, but season 2 just stepped it up even more. And like, go through episode 1 and watch how no one's sitting still. Everyone is moving at anytime they're on scene. They're doing something. Not to the point that it's like distracting, but like it's natural. Like someone's like leaning back on their chair to talk to the person behind them. Ida is doing all the funky stuff with his hand, and like when he throws his both arms into the air, the camera pans up a little to track that movement as he throws his hands up in the air and pulls them back down again. And just lots of subtle stuff like that.
Yes, I agree.
Made episode 1 of it super fun to watch.
One way sorry, go ahead.
And then I was going to say, then you do have the super hype moments during the tournament arc itself, where you've got these big flashy moves going off, and it's just beautifully animated. And yeah, so
one thing that I guess a way that I can encapsulate my feelings about the animation is that when season 2 was still airing, I was editing an AMV with My Hero Academia, and it took me significantly less time to clip through shots of season 1 than it did for season 2. Season 2's clipping was brutal because everything was like amazing and dynamic and beautiful. So I mean, there's that for its credit. I do agree with Cassie though that the highest points probably shined in the tournament arc, and then it fell off a little bit, but even its standard is pretty high.
Oh yeah, for sure. It knew when to use its budget effectively during those tournament arc fights, but not to say that the second back half of the show was slouching by any means. It still is pretty cool how they were able to do certain stuff during the internship and the final exam for the second season. So, yeah.
Something else I'm gonna say with the production is the music.
You say run?
The music
goes with
of
everything?
My Hero, the music of My Hero Academia is really good, and yeah, you say run goes with everything, but it's kind of designed to, in a way, but I'm gonna have to dig out that analysis video and link it in the bottom. There was a really, really good analysis video of You Say Ron, and it talked about how, I mean, this is mostly relating to season 1, but a lot of the soundtrack from season 1 does carry over into season 2.
Yep.
Not that that's a bad thing. It's still a great soundtrack. And there are new songs in season 2. But yeah.
Same artist that did season 1, and fun fact, they did the music for Gundam Build Fighters.
Oh, wow.
That explains it.
Yep.
That explains some stuff.
Yep.
There was actually one song that's come up a couple of times now, but the first time I heard it, I actually doubled over on laughing over it and replayed that clip because I was like, did I really just hear them say that in this song? And it was building up to the start of the finals, I believe, and you've got this pan out of the track and field stadium, and you've got this song building up, and then it just cuts off, and you hear someone be a fucking superstar with fucking
Oh my god!
bleeped
Wait,
out,
yeah, I think I know.
and I was just like, what?
Nice.
But yeah, I love that song as well. But I had to do a double take and said, did I just hear them swear? And like, no, they actually bleeped it out, but still.
I gotta give a shout outs to the openings and endings, especially opening 2 and ending 2. Ending 2 made my Twitter timeline at the time say, yo, we need an original, an OVA dedicated to how they are like stylized in this ending animation. Legit.
Fantasy Worlds.
Yep.
That was
I
so
would be
cute.
so game. I'd be so game to seeing that.
Cass, what do you think about the music?
I loved it. I will say that the first initial opening had to grow on me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after season 1, which I felt that, while not the best, had more impact for me. However, it grew on me over time, and then the second opening of the season I just loved to death.
Oh, it's so good.
I also really enjoyed the first ED, where it really put all of the girls in their own little limelight, which was really fun and sweet, and I really enjoyed that they gave all of the girls their own little spotlight in the ED, just personally. And also, it also helped that I loved the song. I listened to it on repeat. Also, I think that, in addition to music, the sound technicians in this, I can't talk today, the tech work.
Yeah.
That went into the sound production in this show. There we go. There's where I was going. Yep. Was very well done, particularly during the tournament arc. I felt that there was a very great use of sounds of silence, and also the voice actors and voice actresses did an amazing job.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love everything when it comes to sound in this show. Everything's perfect, or as close to perfect as it could be. The only real gripe I had was that it took a while for the first opening to grow on me, but everything else was pristine and wonderful, and I have no complaints.
Shoutouts to both Japanese and English voice actors. I watched the first season Japanese, but I watched a good portion of season 2 English, and man, Chris Sabat does an amazing job as All Might.
Yeah, I've seen all of it in Japanese. I've been watching through it with my nephew in English. Speaking of the first ED, I did have a amusing moment with my nephew. Like, why is it all focusing on the girls? Shonen anime does tend to have EDs that focus on the girls, but why? Because they're cute. I don't know how else to say it to him, but I did really like the first ED, but yeah, the second ED was awesome. I actually prefer the first opening to the second opening personally, but they are both great.
Yeah, I loved all 4 a lot. I do think that
the voice acting work in both the dub and sub, both in the English and Japanese, is really good. I don't know what else to say beyond continuing to sing praises about it. Was there anything else anyone else wanted to bring up about production before we go on to ratings?
That production is smexy. You have to see it to believe it. or you probably have seen it on social media. Highlights of the tournament arc are good.
Yeah. Unanimously, I think that I am also in agreement that I loved all of the openings and EDs. Soundtrack is really good. Animation is crisp. I liked it a lot overall.
Mm-hmm. Cass, what about you?
I already said it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no other comments.
Yeah, so, on to ratings then, so, who should go first? Cassie passed it, so she goes last.
You go first since you're talking.
Yeah,
Hey.
I suppose I might as well go first.
Anarchy.
Anarchy!
Anarchy! Yeah, I loved this series, hands down, without a doubt. Watching the latest episode of this was a highlight of my week. The moment I found out that I could actually watch it on Funimation dubbed as well, I was like, okay, this is something I want to show my nephew. Yeah, no end of praise for this series. If we haven't, our gushing already hasn't been a testimony to that. Definitely something to keep up with. Season 3 hype? Anyway?
Hype!
Hold!
So yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
Nice.
All right. I can go next. So earlier today, let's see, I think Get was watching a video about like the best shonen openings in 2017, and I was
Whoa.
doing dishes, and like as soon as it got to the second opening from My Hero, we were just like, oh my god. And I literally told him, I was like, can we just take a moment to address that My Hero Academia is one of the greatest things to grace anime in the past 5 years? And then he just gave me this laughing face because yes, I was being over dramatic slightly, because I love this show, just undoubtedly. It took me way too long to get into it. Cassie saw the light long before I did, and I'm glad that I finally gave it a shot because she was absolutely right in all the praises she talked about with season 1. And season 2 just really built up and really went all out. Texas Smash plus Ultra. This gets a total love it from me.
Smash!
Oh my god.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm so overwhelmed.
Exactly.
I'm dying! I'm overwhelmed!
Obviously.
Hey y'all, it's me, Craig, coming to you live with my hot takes of My Hero Academia Season 2. It goes without saying that I, Craig Esmond Maximus III, love the fuck out of this show. I watched it weekly. I watched Season 1 weekly. Why? Because Zach, again, shoutouts to the homie, said, yo Craig, you should read this manga. But wait, I'm too lazy to read the manga because by the time I started reading the manga, the anime was announced. So I was like, I'm going to watch that crisp animation by Studio Bones to be delivered because I like seeing my shonen animated. And you know what? They did a damn good job. No higher praise needed. Go check it out. It's on Crunchyroll and Funimation now. For dub and sub, pleasure.
Nice plug there.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yep. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag please sponsor us.
Is it my
Right.
turn now?
Yeah.
Yep, it's your turn, Cassie.
I'm so overwhelmed. I can't. No, but yeah, I think that one of the best things about My Hero Academia is that all of us here and all of my friends who have watched this show love different kinds of genres, and some of them actually hate shonen. A good deal of people that I know from all different walks of life and all different tastes in anime love the crap out of the show, and I think that's very important. I think that goes to show that this particular little gem has a lot to offer regardless of what you are into. And while I'm going to give it definitely please check this out, I also want to give it a love it because I do love this show. It's very a rare find in this day and age, and especially in the shonen genre. And if you're not giving it a shot, you're really doing yourself a disservice, I feel.
Mhm.
Especially if you're a fan of that genre in general, but also just because I think that it's something that is very easy to digest.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, it's well produced, and it's one of the better animes to come out of the last decade, in my opinion.
Yep.
So
I wholeheartedly agree.
and we don't get to be unanimous very often here, so that's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
You know, I didn't actually say this a little bit ago, but I'll say it now. Not only does it break the mold of shonen power levels, but it also breaks the mold of females in shonen, where actually there is no one best girl or girls get shelved to the side.
They're all best girl.
They're all best girl, and they're all badass in their own right. They could kick a guy's ass if they wanted to, and I'm like, the mangaka, you did it. You broke the curse of shonen.
I think there's still some girls in other shonen shows that break the mold in that regard as well. But
You're right,
I do
Kaoru.
I do like the sheer amount of them in this show. I will
Yeah.
I agree.
throw that up there. I think that actually they are about the same number of females as there are males in the
Mhm.
show, which is very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like on the thought of like kick-ass girls in shonen or other shonen shows to be like, hey, we have kick-ass girls. Look, it's this one girl or these two girls. See how kick-ass they are, and they're girls. And this show's just like, yeah, we got girls. We got lots of them. They kick ass. They could kick your ass.
Yes.
They can
Why
kick
not?
my ass.
They could kick all of our asses.
Dun,
But,
dun, dun. That's all I got, though.
But yeah.
Play me
Lots
off,
of
Johnny.
good role models.
oh my god, that is the best thing I've ever heard you say in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Play me off, Johnny.
We are actually not going to go into a spoiler section in this episode because this show is just really something to just watch and enjoy. And like, not that there's a lot we couldn't, not that there's nothing to spoil. In fact, we could probably gush for ages if we wanted to go into spoilers and talk about all that, but we don't really feel there's a need to, and we just like, just go watch it.
Yeah.
Go watch it now. Go. Stop the video now. Go watch it now.
Do it now! Do it now! Get to the chopper!
So that was Love It's Across the Board, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, love is across the board. Anything else to be said by anyone at all?
I'm gonna go die. That's about it.
Plus
Cass, you sound
Ultra!
Plus Ultra!
Somebody take my place.
Plus Ultra. No, Cass, say Azeroth, Metro, and Zinthos.
Help yourself, Craig. Anyway, it's been fun, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Elias,
Take
Bye-bye.
Elias, Bye, Nara. Bye.